The next up on the agenda is a discussion about the Office of Research and Sponsored Programs, and our interim director, Melissa Nielsen, is here to start us off.
Thank you. I'm just here to give you a brief overview because I think I've met with many of you, and you've also had sort of an overview of the same thing at new faculty orientation back in the fall. So I was trying to envision what our office does in image, and I think you could encapsulate us within this arrow, because I see us as being the support that gets you from having a great idea to getting what you need to move your idea forward. And I think we've met with a number of you along the way, and you've experienced some of those things, but I wanted to give you an overview here, and Bob indicated he'd be sharing this presentation, so there's a number of links that you can access after the fact and get to some specific places on our website. So funding and money to get you going is one of the main things we do, grants and contracts within our office, and we do have a number of resources that are available to you that you can find predominantly on our website. The Funding Finder is a newer tool that you may be familiar with. You can fill it out, submit it to us, and we'll run a customized funding query for you. It can also point you to some of the other funding resources that are available to you, such as the Pivot and Grant Search databases, which you can access on your own, set up some custom queries, and request some periodic automatic email updates based on those queries. We also you see the grant newsletter on a monthly basis in your inbox, good resource for some professional development materials, as well as the latest news from our office and the most recent funding opportunities that we do survey for you and qualify, look like they're good fits for our campus. We do have a Facebook page, so if you do get this, click on the link and like us. We do put some extra funding information out there, as well as some information about upcoming workshops and other opportunities that we have available for you. Our website also has a list of the internal grants that are available through UWL as well as UW System. And I want to in particular remind everyone about the Faculty Research Grant Program that our office administers. We work with the Faculty Research Grant Committee on campus to review, and they make the award decisions for that, and that's made up of your colleagues from across all disciplines on campus. Awesome opportunity to find some seed funding for your project and get you off on a good start. We're also a good resource for professional development, so we do a number of workshops throughout the year based on the feedback that we receive from faculty and staff on their professional development needs as it relates to research and grants. And we also have some online resources on our website, either that we've created or that link you out to other places where you can develop your grant-related expertise. I also think that we can be a valuable resource as far as strategizing goes. If you just have a good idea but you're really not sure where to go with it next, I love having those initial discussions with people about what does it take to move you from that idea to the next step, whether it's finding you some internal funding or whether it's finding you maybe a federal grant to give you that extra push to get that research underway. I also like to think of our office as a connection point, connecting you with the contacts from your funding agencies, like program officers, to get some good feedback on your project, connecting you with potential collaborators on campus that you haven't connected with before, just because we do have some more interaction with people across disciplines and across departments, so we can direct you to people that you may not have anticipated existed on campus to connect with. The Scholar Connection group, I'll do a quick plug here. We have a new LinkedIn group, as in it is brand new, so I'd encourage you to go out there. The intent is that this will be an online networking forum for people to get together, share their research ideas, and look for potential collaborators as well. And compliance, if you get lost in the sea of acronyms, IRB, IACUC, RCR, and those things, we can interpret that for you, get you pointed in the right direction, and get those forms underway for you so you're not bogged down and you can focus on the important things, which would be your ideas. Submission, that's an obvious, I will push the button for you, so you don't have to worry about that part. And refining proposals, we have an awesome resource within our office in the form of faculty fellows, and they couldn't be here today, so I put their pictures in the PowerPoint. Oh, Jody's here. So here's Jody. Jody's from Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies, and she's with us this year and will also be with us into the following year. Peg Maher wasn't able to make it, but she's with us through May. She's actually been with our office. She was our director before my interim appointment. So great resource there. Faculty fellows are available to meet with you along with me and provide that faculty perspective. These are people that have had past experience with some internal and external grant work, and they're just a great resource to support your own scholarship, and can also review your proposals and provide some feedback on that. So good opportunity to network with them. The two new faces that will be joining our office this upcoming fall, I can announce officially, are Dr. Ray Block from Political Science and Dr. James Pierce from Mathematics. And then the other face that's not pictured here because she came with me is Chandra Hawkins, whom you should be familiar with. She's our Grants and Compliance Coordinator and is often one of the people that you meet first if you come over and visit us. And I had mentioned the LinkedIn networking group. This does link to that, so if you have access to the presentation later, you can click on that and join. It is a private networking group, so it's only for UWL faculty and staff, so you can be assured if you're discussing things that's within the UWL domain, per se. And we also have a related networking event coming up next week that I would greatly encourage you to come and attend. It will be in this space here. We will have cookies. We will have coffee. I was promised by Bob. And it's a 3-hour long open house. So
Yeah, so whatever's not eaten today, you can come back next Friday.
I promise it won't be too stale. So please come by. It is an open house, so you don't have to come for the full 3 hours. If you can come for 15 minutes, great. We're going to try to have some fun agenda items to help you connect with some people that you haven't connected with before and learn about what other people are doing on campus and maybe form some new partnerships. And this is how to find us if you didn't know where you were. The "You Are Here" arrow is accurate so long as you remain in this building.
Any questions for Melissa or any of the other members of the Office of Research and Sponsored Programs? How many of you have not heard of that before? Well, very well done. Thank you, Melissa. Yeah, their office will continue to be, I think, a growing value. We are cognizant of the fact that we got many more new faculty, and we're looking at different areas on campus and where we need more support. And I think the growth we've seen with the faculty fellows will help that office support more individuals, and we are looking at perhaps putting another grant writer within that office, so we'll have additional grant writing support. Our regent, who was here earlier, has a grandson in graduate studies, so if you didn't know, UWL has graduate programs, and we have a director of graduate programs, Dr. Steve Simpson.
Thank you. I actually put the sports jacket on because the regent was here and she left before I had a chance to flash that I dressed up a little bit for today. I am the director of graduate studies, and I'm really happy just to have the opportunity to remind folks that we do have an Office of Graduate Studies. It happens to be housed in the grants office, and sometimes we get hidden a little bit with the grants people. Real briefly, I'll be quick, I promise. There really is two primary roles for the office. One is to help individual graduate programs develop their programs and get their students through. It's really a service-oriented office. We have ongoing programs, we have new programs being developed all the time, and that office is to help them understand the policies, the university level policies, to get through the programs and get their students through the programs. The other is to advocate for graduate studies on campus. We are obviously an institution that's dominated by undergraduate education, and it's the Graduate Studies Office that reminds people when it's necessary that we're part of the university too, and an integral part of the university. Just quickly, some background information. There are 18 graduate programs currently on campus. Some of your departments will have grad programs, some of you won't. And there's over 780 students that are graduate students that are either on campus or working on a graduate degree by some other means. And then finally, I'll point out that we're a mishmash of delivery. We have on-campus programs, we have online programs, we have face-to-face programs that are off-campus. We have some programs that are housed in departments. We have some programs that go through continuing ed. We have programs that are supported by state dollars. We have graduate programs that are self-funding. All kinds of different things going on. So it's really a collection of different programs on campus that are offering quality graduate education. In terms of what the office does, first of all, it's probably easier to talk about the things that we don't do. For the most part, UWL for graduate education is intentionally decentralized, meaning that most programs are pretty much self-sufficient within their departments. Many instances, the graduate students within those departments have almost no contact with our office, except for a couple of things I'm going to mention. They're looking at their graduate directors within their departments. They're looking at their advisors within their departments in terms of letting them know what they need to do to get the degrees. So we're not involved with admissions. That's in the admissions office. We don't design curriculum. We serve as an advisor to departments and to the graduate curriculum committee, a committee, by the way, that you may want to serve on. And we don't determine assistantships. We delegate the money to the colleges, which then delegates the money to the departments, and it's the departments that determine who get the graduate assistantships on campus. What we do, our office consults the Graduate Council, which is another committee that you might want to serve on. Graduate Council really looks at university policy as it applies to graduate education and determines those policy changes that need to be done and then presents them to the Faculty Senate for final approval. Also, our office coordinates graduate faculty status. If you are in a program or a department with graduate programs, it's a no-brainer. You should apply for graduate faculty status. Graduate faculty status allows you to teach graduate classes. It allows you to serve on thesis committees. It allows you to chair theses or graduate programs, or graduate projects. So if you are working with graduate students at all, you need to get that. Even if your department doesn't have a graduate program, you still may want to do that because you may have opportunities to work with graduate students in other departments. Right now I have a thesis committee, for example, that has a philosophy professor on it. Philosophy does not have a graduate program, but a faculty member is on one of my students' graduate committees. We do have grants. So if you are supervising graduate students, please realize and let the students know early that there are research grants, there's travel grants, and there's poster grants that they may be eligible to apply for. And finally, if a student does do a thesis, and not all graduate students here do theses, if they do a thesis, it ultimately has to be approved through the Graduate Studies Office. A lot of that is about the correct formatting, but we also look in general sense at the quality of the thesis, although all the departments right now really have high standards, and that's never a problem. A few other things really quick. We advise a campus-wide student organization. We listen to appeals. If students feel like they're not treated fairly in their departments, they can come to me and I will help them prepare an appeal for the Graduate Council. We do have a number of awards. If you have a student that wrote a good thesis, for example, I would encourage you to help that student apply for the award. And we have a few other things that we also do. The one that I mentioned real quickly is that we have a hooding ceremony at the commencement. The commencement itself, the big commencement, obviously they're trying to run people through fairly quickly because there's so many people graduating. Before the main commencement ceremony, we have a hooding upstairs in a room at the lacrosse center where the graduate students get a little bit more personal attention. We physically hood them. Their advisor gives them a 30-second bio of all the cool stuff they've done and all the cool things they're about to do. And certainly if you have graduate students, I would encourage you to attend. But even if you want to see or hear about some of the interesting things that graduate students do, an easy way to accomplish that would be to come to the hooding, which usually occurs about 1 hour prior to the main commencement. Stop there. Any questions about the Graduate Studies Office?
So what graduate programs do we have under development right now?
SAA is looking at a doctorate.
They have a master's at this point?
They have a
going
master's.
doctorate?
Math is looking at a, what's the current title?
Data science?
Data science, which is statistics and data, and maybe Natalie can talk about that. Recreation management's looking at an online master's to match their on-campus, and I'm missing school psych. There's 2 more even. There's
We are looking at professional science math.
thank you. Professional science masters in microbiology.
That's right.
So there's, someone rattle off something else?
MEPD.
MEPD, a certificate.
They're looking to do the doctorate. Education doctorate.
That's SAA.
SAA, that's a
Student
doctorate in student affairs. But learning communities, which is education, they're looking at certificate programs. I mean, there's all kinds of people looking at things. They're in various stages. Some are doing feasibility studies, some are beyond that, developing curriculum. Sports administration just got something approved. One of the questions I always ask folks when they develop a new master's program is, what are you doing this for? And because they already have these full plates, and there's really not really a financial incentive to do it. There's not a lot of additional prestige associated with it. And the answer always is because it's needed. And if you want to feel good about other faculty at this university, the folks that are developing master's programs, it's all altruistic. They all think it's something that needs to be done.
Trying to meet the needs of their students, and they see that as the next step. All right, thanks, Steve. Next up is Natalie Solverson, our Director of our Institutional Research. She'll talk a little bit about what her office does.
Or medium-sized data.
Medium-sized data.
Small data, bite-sized data. It's okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Natalie Solverson, Director of Institutional Research. So basically, what is the function of institutional research? This is the short version: collection, analysis, dissemination, interpretation of the university's data. And, oops, I can drive the mouse. There we go. So the staff that works in IR, we're actually in the Provost Suite if you ever need to find us. If you have a problem, Bob Hoare sits next to us. If you need a question answered, you can find us. So we're all in the same space there. There's 3 staff members who work in IR. Myself, Grace Engen is our institutional research analyst, and then Yan Q is our query specialist. So if you do have questions, one of the 3 of us will be replying to your needs. So this is a little little visual about data and why there's a need for data analysis. This is actually from a couple of years ago I found it, but it's still one of my favorites. So every minute of the day, this is the type of data that's collected out in the world. Just some examples. It's mind-boggling to me that every minute of the day we're spending $272,000 on online shopping. So all of these things become data points that we can use to analyze what people are doing. So there's a lot of information out there, and it's fun to try to get to at least some of it. So a little overview about the different things that our office does. First of all, one of the roles that we play is that we do a lot of the accountability reporting. When Regent Farrow was up talking about, what do we do to communicate with the legislature and with the Board of Regents about what we're doing, some of that comes out of my office. We coordinate the system, the response from UW-La Crosse to the UW System Accountability Report and a couple of the other reports. We also coordinate with UW System in terms of IPEDS reporting, so that would be to the U.S. government, the federal government, the Integrated Post-Secondary Educational Data System, otherwise known as IPEDS. And there's a resource there if you're ever looking for information about other schools for comparison. That's a website that we can help you navigate, and it's also linked from our website, which I'll show in a minute. So I have a little link here, campus info to know. This takes you to the IR website. So a few of the resources available here include the links to quick facts about the institution, as well as to what's called the common data set. And there are also every year updates to this common data set. So if you're working on something and you just need some quick information, like the enrollments, head counts, student to faculty ratio, all those types of things, those are going to be out on our website. So you can go ahead and get that information for yourself. Also, we do the reporting for the external surveys, U.S. News and World Report, the College Board, Peterson's, all those kinds of college guides. We do those. And we're also fairly heavily involved in accreditation. So that would be programmatic accreditation in some cases. So if you have specific information you need about your particular program, as well as at the university level, we work with the Higher Learning Commission process for accreditation. And we also work with issues related to compliance for distance education in other states. So a little bit of a hodgepodge of things that we do, but we're happy to answer questions as they come our way. My children asked me, what do I do at work, right? And I said, well, I take numbers and I make pictures so people know what the numbers mean. And so the response is, that doesn't sound like much fun. So I really appreciate the fact that I can make my work sound like so much fun to my children. But anyway, so yeah, sometimes it's not fun, but we do enjoy what we do, and mostly because we like to help people get the information that they need. And one of the other resources that's available, this is a internal website, and this is linked off the external. This is some information that is available to the campus community. So if you have, for example, you want a little bit more detailed information about our enrollments, there's some more specific enrollment tables here. We also have our blog, I is for interesting. Okay. So,
This is a tough audience.
I know. So I do post some things out here about different research we're doing in our office, little data points as we go along. So, every once in a while I'll send something out saying we have something posted on the blog, and just another piece of information. So if you're working on something and you're looking for a data point, you can go there. We do a lot of special requests, ad hoc requests, things like supporting research. At this point in the year, we're filling a lot of requests for email addresses for students who are surveying as part of their classwork or as part of their undergraduate research. If you are working on something where you're working on a grant and you're looking for more in-depth information about a particular population of students, you can let us know. We do different things. For example, there may be a situation where you want to see how students did in one class, and then when they went on to the next class, that course sequencing, a lot of different things. So if it has to do with student data and you have a question about it, be sure to let us know. We also are involved in the TAI process, the Teaching Assignment Information Report process, as far as we worked with the IT staff to actually write that so it's self-service. So yay for self-service. If you haven't had the opportunity to do that yet, we do have some training videos on that if you are interested in learning more about that process. And then other questions of importance or interest to the campus community as they come up. I refer to it as kind of 31 flavors. It really depends on the semester for what we're working on, and it's something different every semester. So if you have any other questions, be sure to let me know. I'd be happy to answer those questions. I actually have to run out, but email me, call me, and I'd love to hear from you.
So I realize we're running up on 5 o'clock. If you do have to take off, we understand. We are actually recording this, so we're going to continue the program right on through the hour, and I'll share out the link. Next up on our list is our friends from Continuing Education and Extension. Penny Teed is the director, and she couldn't be here today, but we have two wonderful representatives, and I'll let you introduce yourself.
Wow, what an introduction.
There you go.
My name is Lynn Weiland. I'm an assistant director in continuing education, and we're located in Morris on the second floor. Do you want to introduce yourself right away, too?
And I'm Angie Kuhner. I'm an outreach specialist and a program manager within continuing education.
And I've worked in the UW system for 26 years now, and of those 26, 16 have been here at UW La Crosse, so it's been quite a while. Angie is brand new.
1 year.
1 year. Okay. So This morning, my daughter informed me as she left her school that you can't trust atoms because they make up everything. Well, I guarantee that I'm not going to make up anything today, but I am going to talk to you about what CE helps to make up in terms of foundational pieces on this campus and can assist you as well. My work is predominantly in the credit area. I do credit programming, especially with our school districts in the state, focusing on contracting for professional development and licensing needs, and college prep credit courses primarily through dual credit initiatives. We provide on-site general education courses to Volk Field, which is located right outside of Tomah, Wisconsin. I coordinate online collaborative programs that we offer through the Continuing Education Outreach and e-Learning, which is a division of UW Extension, and that resides in Madison. We currently offer and work with two of those programs, the online Bachelor of Science in Health and Wellness Management, and also the Bachelor of Science in Health Information Management and Technology. And we are in the incubation stage of our third online collaborative degree program, which is data science. And you may have people stumbling over that a little bit because it's first was called the predictive analytics program, so now we're calling it data science. We also coordinate the online sport administration master degree program, and we have started the inquiry process with rec management and looking at that as online. I share all of these roles and examples with you because these are the ideas that you may have, and we can assist you in bringing those to fruition. A new role I have taken on in the past year is recruiting large conferences to our campus. With that, I segue to Angie, who's a new colleague in our office that I mentioned before, and she's going to share some of the conferences that we have hosted on our campus.
A few of the conferences we deal with in continuing education are some big conferences, and we deal with small workshops as small as 5 to 10 people. So we do deal with a wide range of different professionals and different conferences. One big one we just finished with was the Student Development Conference that we had about the first week in March. Dealt with 13 different universities were part of this conference, bringing in underrepresented students. So it was a great way for us to coordinate and do all the logistics and services for that particular conference. One we have coming up here in April, just to show we can go off-site, is one in Chicago for the Midwestern Associate of Graduate Schools. We'll be organizing and doing all the logistics for that particular conference. And then a couple just to show that we can do on campus. We have one we're working with the Economics and Business Conference, a chemistry conference, and then in 2015 an International Society for River Science Conference. So it shows a wide range of conferences that we deal with. We also do some non-credit programming as far as working with youth. We have summer programming. We do ACT prep, girls and boys in science. That deals with 6th to 8th graders, getting them involved in the STEM program, utilizing the faculty here on campus, teaching those students. It's a great opportunity. We're always looking for new faculty to teach for our youth program, so if you're interested, please contact our office.
Okay, I'm going to switch with you so you can take over the slides here, and I'm going to continue on. I wrote out notes this time, which I'm not used to doing because I tend to be a rambler. And we really had to keep in the time, so I'm sticking to my notes here, which is not an easy thing to do. As I stated earlier, one of my new roles in my position is building partnerships to seek out new conferences to be hosted on our campus. And one way I've been doing that is by presenting at department chair meetings, and or I'm meeting one-on-one with faculty members. This being one of the cases, a venue that we have meeting with you as new faculty. We work with all of these different groups of people that are up on the slide right now in a variety of capacities. For example, I'm on a board member on the La Crosse Public Education Foundation, and I'm also a board member on the North Central Conference on summer sessions, and this helps us to develop connections and partnerships for our campus. I also work with faculty, for example, Jen Koziak, and I thought I saw Jen here before. She's left already, and her affiliation with the Wisconsin Math Council, and also Rob Dixon in the Wisconsin School Psychologists Association, to provide credits that attend their affiliated conferences. So that might be an example that you might be interested in. You are all members of professional organizations that may have conferences and or licensing needs that we could assist you to provide for those needs here at UWL. Or you may want to think about utilizing our services to develop a proposal for consulting with an area school district or possibly a community organization, showcasing your area of expertise. we would work with you to connect your expertise with your curriculum or your professional or staff development needs. You want to slide it over there?
Am I doing so wrong here?
Just want to hit the arrow.
Yeah, I hit the-
The second one.
Is that it?
That's it. Ways that we can help you, program development, we can help you identify your audiences. We can do a needs assessment, and a good example of that is we're working with Scott Simpson right now, identifying the needs that we have with the online collaborative, or not online collaborative, the online degree with the rec management. So we've worked with Steve, did I say Scott? Steve, to create the survey to make sure that there actually is a need for the program. And the reason that we do that is many times we have people that will come to us and say they have a need for the program, but there might not necessarily be that need. So we want to make sure that we identify there actually is that need. We market the program. We help you actually get the word out to the right people after we have identified that audience. In terms of program implementation, we'll help you develop and actually manage a budget. You may even come in and say you need to make so much money to cover certain expenses, and then we can develop that budget for you. We help you with logistical arrangements, the speaker arrangements, actually can do registration for you. Some of your non-credit programs need the continuing education units or credits, and we can also set up a specialized program evaluation for you. Oh, it switched. I was waiting for it to go. Ways that we can offer and manage our programs. And remember, when I say programs, that's a definition that has a broad definition. So this can be credit courses, conferences, it's encompassing. We can provide that on campus. This would be for your non-credit. Off campus, we can do online programs with you, and then we can go throughout the state and beyond. And remember that we could also do, if you have a special conference that you want to work with us on, we can take that to another place out of state and actually host it. And our last slide, why you should work with us. We have decades of experience. You just heard all of my experience that I've had. We provide visibility for your department or organization. We develop the service and scholarship portion. We assist you in developing the service and scholarship portion of your promotion retention file. You receive compensation for your instructional service. That could be you personally or your department. And don't forget to include us in your grants. We can be a part of that grant that you're writing. Also, please take a look on the grant website, because on that grant website there is a grant that is being offered through Continuing Education and Extension for conference and program support grants. You need to go under the funding sources and then under UWL funding, and then under the campus-wide funding, and there's CEE, a CE grant run through, and it'll list Penny Teat, the director. Through that, there's up to $5,000 that can be awarded if it came through our NCUR conference, and you do need to have a consultation with Penny. So make sure you look through the proposal for that. We are ready to meet with you. We've got everything all lined up. I can meet with you as a one-on-one, or I can meet with a department. I do have a sign-up sheet that's going around, so if you'd like to put your name down and an email or a phone number and have an idea that you'd like to write down, please do, and then I can set up a meeting for you. So thank you very much. Questions?
No questions at all?
Great. Thanks.
Continuing education and extension is one of those things that isn't always, when I was newer, I didn't always see their place for how they could support me. But as it didn't take long, and I discovered that their value is actually vast. When you think about, we should be doing that at UWL. A lot of the things that we should be doing have to start somewhere, and they start in programs that continuing education and extension start out. If you wanted to bring your society's conference here, your colleagues might say that's a lot of work, but the response is that we have the people that will do that work for you. And not only that, they'll help you get funding to put it together. and continuing education and extension is that place. Or if you wanted to offer a summer program, something that's different, something that you've seen before at other places that you think we would be good at, that's a good place to start. They can help you put together the program, help you get it started, and actually help with the assessment. So thank you very much. If I can get the thing to advance, there we go. We have one more office that you may have heard of, the Center for Advancing Teaching and Learning, and we have a number of representatives from that office here today, and Bill Serbin is the director, will be coming up first.
I'm fairly certain that most of you have at least a glimmer of an idea about the Center for Advancing Teaching and Learning, unless you have a very powerful spam filter. Because we send out fairly regular announcements about the work that we do, inviting faculty and instructional academic staff to our programs and events. We're distributing a handout that kind of summarizes everything on one page. And I'm not going to go chapter and verse through this, but I would like to point out a few highlights about the Teaching Center. We are a unit that is devoted to supporting instructors to improve their teaching and their students' learning. And we do this through a variety of means. Each year we hold an annual conference. This past year we actually held 2. And we also have a series of workshops. I think I did the count the other day, and this year so far we've offered, I think, 30 workshops during the year. So we're very active in events that take place in an hour or 2 hours. And in addition to these drive-by opportunities, we do offer programs and training opportunities as well. So I'm going to highlight one area where new faculty might be interested. We actually hold 3-week-long training courses for instructors to be trained in online instruction, as well as blended learning instruction. That might be something to put on your radar screen for maybe even this summer, because that's the next opportunity, the next time that course will be offered. These are kind of strategically offered during, there aren't down times anymore, but the less frenetic times during the year. So J-term, if you're not teaching a class, might be a time when you would want to take a look at a 3-week class, as well as June. In addition to the structured and organized opportunities, we also offer quite a bit of consultation. And we do this on an as requested basis. That's individual consultation with any of the staff members. But we also open that up to groups of faculty as well as departments and even colleges. We've consulted with colleges on certain kinds of events as well. So I would welcome you to any of our events, and you'll know about them because I will continue to send emails to you. Adjust your spam filter as needed. And I would also like to just very briefly identify some of the people who are here in the room. On the back side, you can't tell the back side from the front side, but the back side of this handout are the CATL staff. And I will say this, in the UW system, we really have a very rich teaching center. About 5 years ago, we were formed and put together from faculty and staff on campus who are doing bits and pieces of faculty development. We're all working together now, and I think that arrangement has been working well. By our count, we have a head count during the year of at least 700 to 1,000 people showing up at our events. And they're showing up to hear these people do remarkable things. And I want to talk, just have those of you who are here on the staff. This is a great opportunity for you to find out what you do as well. Brian Uterman is the Director of Online Education. Brian, why don't you just raise your hand? Any questions that you have in general about online education, not just about instructor training, but if you're in a department that is beginning to think about offering a program online, Brian is the guy to talk to. Another person to talk to specifically about online and blended learning is Jen Snook. Jen Snook's an instructional designer who works extensively with faculty in training and also does quite a bit of individual consultation as well. In the back is Deb Hoskins, who is the Inclusive Excellence Coordinator. And you've probably seen Deb in just about every meeting on campus that involves some aspect of diversity and inclusive excellence. Her role within CATL is to provide the dimension to our programs and workshops that really tries to address the needs of all the students that we have. And a few people who aren't here, Patrick Barlow is the University Assessment Coordinator. He's located in the Teaching Center. Patrick does workshops on assessment. He's doing one this Friday on program level assessment. So he also works at a more macro level with university assessment as well. Brian Kopp is the Writing Programs Coordinator. If any of you came here and were told that you were going to teach a writing emphasis course, as some people are told, about 48 hours before that class begins, Brian is the person who works with faculty on getting writing emphasis certification. He works with departments on writing in the major programs as well. And who have I forgotten? Kristen, another instructional designer who is intimately involved with online instructor training. And one advantage, by the way, of having this on tape, recorded, I've discovered this. I'm now taking a MOOC, by the way, Bob, and it's not very good. But it's not yours. I've discovered the fast forward that still allows you to listen to the person who's talking. 3x speed is ideal because it takes an 18-minute video down to about 6 minutes, and you can just make out what the person is saying. On that note,
any questions for Bill? All right, thank you. I'll be sure to edit that last part out, so you won't have to get that in.
You should have heard them at the beginning.
I just want to take a minute to thank everybody for coming today and for all of the support that has gone into not just today's event, but this whole concept of the Institute for Campus Excellence. This physical space with these 3 rooms is going to give us a chance to come together like this, like the sort of things that CATL offers and all of the other offices that you heard from today. You'll be spending time in here talking about the job that you do, discussing with each other on ways we might improve or change or develop. And I think that having this space is going to be an important thing for us. And that couldn't happen without the support of a large number of people. A few are here today. Provost Heidi McPherson, our deans, the department chairs, the director of the library, who I just realized is right there and is going to be hosting the event next week. But before I mention that, I just wanted to give a round of applause to all of those that support this sort of event. And again, naturally, I want to thank everybody that presented today. I think these are valuable workshops. We'll continue to have this sort of thing on into next year. Now that we have a space that allows us to spread out, I think we'll be able to invite a larger cross-section of the faculty, but it's great to have the newer faculty arriving. And next week, we're going to hear more about the sort of things that are going on in this building in general. So we'll showcase this space, but also some of the other spaces around the building. And Catherine, would you like to mention what any of that will look like?
Oh, we'll have, we'll have the opportunity to mingle and explore this room, these rooms over here, and we'll be invited to cross the hallway into the library. We'll have very cool new services and resources to show off. We'll have refreshments. It will be a lovely event. So please do come back.
So it'll be at 3. It'll start at 3:30. We'll have a small program in this area around 3:45, and then the building will be open, and you can wander around and see what's new. And I encourage you to take advantage of that. The groups that presented here today will also be available in person during that event. So if you have questions, you can contact them between now and then, but you might bring some ideas with knowing that some of those people will be here, and you can say, let's think about this, or how can you help me with that? And we'll try and make that happen. Thanks for staying the extended time. I appreciate it. We will get these PowerPoint slides out to everybody that was invited. And if the recording goes well, thank you to Terry Workus. He's somewhere out there in Neverland. Recording this, I'll put that back out to you so you can share it with your friends, or if you've missed a piece of it, you can quickly rewind and put it on half speed so you can hear it for a longer period of time. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good week.